Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Authentic Info Podcast. I'm your host, Admir Sandlichak. Now, in this episode, we're going to look at some of the reasons why, the youth must join politics. We have seen a reflection of good leadership, where young people are given a chance to lead. But a lot of us are complaining. We're complaining because we have problems that we think should be solved by politicians and those who are involved in government. So you'll realize that most of the decisions that affect us are decided by politicians from various political parties in parliament. They vote for laws that affect us. They vote for a budget that affect us. So the problem of job creation, the problem of opportunities rest upon, these leaders. Then we have a problem because we as young people complain a lot that we are not considered, we are forsaken, no one is there for us. Now, I think this is one of the most important reasons why we should be actively involved in politics so that we can be part of the people who, make decisions for this country, South Africa, and make decisions for other unfortunate young people. Now, a lot of us, the IEC statistically says that we do not participate in elections, but we are the most vocal people after elections and before elections. But when it is time, to register to vote, we don't register. When it's time to vote, automatically we're not going to vote. But when there are rallies, we are there in numbers. We even understand these ideologies of various political parties, but we don't want to participate, we don't want to vote, and we don't want to, join political parties and form part of leadership so that we can, give this country, South Africa, a direction. I think as young people, we should study to understand the different ideologies that drives these political parties so that we can even help to explain and teach those who are younger than us and those who are older than us, especially the elders, because, for example, we have the EFF. The elders were told that the EFF, when the EFF takes over, will be like Zimbabwe. That needs to be corrected. It needs young people to study the EFF, its policies, its founding manifesto, and its ideology, so that these can be explained to young people. There are those who say that the ANC is for old people who are tired, who are sleeping in parliament, who are useless. But we are not forming part of these political parties so that we can uproot this corruption, so that we can try and correct these political parties, because these old people, where they are, they decide for our future. They decide for our future. They decide for a future that they are not going to live. So it's bad. We have to be part of this. When you check Bo Mandela, when they joined politics, they were still young, they were still energetic, they were still in their youth. When you check Bo Sibukwe, when you check Bo Steve Biko, they were still very energetic, very young, as students. They understood, the oppression that black people were going through. And they joined the revolution. Others even formed the revolution at an early age. So I think we shouldn't, undermine ourselves to say we're not leaders, we don't understand politics. Politics is for the corrupt. We must be there, we must be actively involved, we must participate, we must attend meetings, from lower level so that we grow and understand leadership, so that when there are opportunities, we contest these elders and mobilize, ourselves and organize ourselves as young people. I mean, in numbers, we are greater than elders, and we can take over South Africa and take over government, because the way these political parties are, for example, let's look at the ANC in South Africa. The ANC consists of a lot of older people in its leadership and even in parliament. And that is a reflection of their government. When you go to their government, you will find older people occupying higher level positions in government. And these are people who are presiding over us. These are people who are presiding over young people. So it's very painful to be led by someone, number one, who doesn't want to read, someone who doesn't want to give you an opportunity, someone who has been there because they're political connected and they don't believe in education because they didn't do it through education. So we need to form part of and change the dynamics of politics and political structures of leadership so that it consists of young people who would advocate for other young people who are seeking employment, who are seeking business opportunities and things like that. And to solve this problem is to be actively involved in politics, is to participate, in any political party. You can join and make a difference from any political party. Political parties are formed in South Africa every time, every now and then, and they die. There are those that are sustained. So there are opportunities, to be part of a branch and you take part in these BGMs and things like that and get to understand and form part of the structure and grow within the ranks so that when there is time or there's an opportunity where young people should grab politically, you are part of that, you are there, you are actively involved. So I encourage all of us. Julius Malema used to say this in the Youth League, that when we find young people sleeping, we must take over everything, all these positions. So I think that shouldn't change. And whatever, even if it's the EFF, DA, ANC, Patriotic Alliance, whatever, young people must be there. They must infiltrate these structures, these political parties, so that we bring about change from within. And we don't wait for all people to decide, for our future, which they won't form part of. It's very painful for someone to decide that you must retire at this age while that person is still at work, 15 years beyond the age of retirement that they are setting for you while you are sitting at home. You haven't even found a job. Now you are in your 30s, 40s, you're still looking for a job, but you know that you are limited. Your time to work is limited and you are now old. So it's very painful. Those are some of the things that needs to be changed, that needs to be challenged. That for as long as someone is, still feels, energetic and can be productive at the workplace, that person has to go through medical checks and then they should be allowed to continue to work. I mean, when you go to any university, you'll find older professors who are still, lecturers, senior lecturers who are still, working every day. You go to court, you find the judges, they are very old. But in government, in other departments in government, you will be told, but at age 60, you must take your bags and leave. And most of these people, you'll find out that they just recently got promotions. They just recently got positions of senior management. They just put it there to test that position for 2 years and then you must go home. So it's bad. We need young people to be part of deciding, the future of South Africa. And to do that, we must be actively involved in politics and we must take part in leadership structures. We must contest, positions so that we can form part of leadership and learn from within and grow within the ranks. I think I've said a mouthful and this will, push someone out there to stand up, rise and go and join a political party and mobilize and form part of the structure of leadership and grow from there. While you are looking for a job, you're also actively involved in politics. Either way, either opportunity that comes, it's either employment or through a position, in leadership, in political. You take it as a young person and then you go and represent us because you are the one who must decide for your own future. We are the ones who must plan, what should happen 10 years ago, 10 years to come, 20 years to come, 15 years to come, 30 years to come. No, not people who are already in their 70s deciding for us. They won't be there. They are running everything. So we must be part of politics and we must form part, of these leadership, structures. Thank you for watching this Authentic Info podcast.